Yes, so recording started. So today, it's a topic is a bit of theoretical topic, friends, but this will help in the later classes. Okay, so though it's a little theory, but all the terms that we are going to today, we'll see. So they are going to use in the later classes. So hence, please pay attention. And so before we study about this topic, so from yesterday's class, one topic that is left over, it's a very small topic that is ASCII. Okay, so first let's understand this topic. It will take close to 5 to 10 minutes, and after that we will cover these things. Okay. So just one thing, friends. For example, let's say so you stored some text. Let's say or in the VS Code you have taken S is equal to, you have written ABCD, ABCD, or you open a notepad and you saved this file 1.txt, and in that txt, let's say this is the text that you have written. Okay. Now how this text is being stored inside that computer memory, so that we need to understand. So let's say you have taken yes and you have put inverted commas, that is ABCD. So whenever you put a inverted commas, it will be treated as a string, right? Now how this string is actually stored inside that memory. So how this string is stored inside that memory, how this string is stored inside the memory. Okay, so let's try to understand this first. Now, so let's say this is the text you have written in your computer. Okay, and same text you have written in your friend's computer, or maybe this you written in one programming language. So next same you have written in a different programming language. Okay, so no matter which computer or which programming language that you wrote, so there should be some standard structure that needs to be followed. Okay, so everyone in the world are going to follow this kind of structure. So what that structure is, so for every character, okay, so this here A is called as one character. Okay, so B is called as one character. So C is called as one character. So D is called as another character. So total here, there are 4 characters that are present, friends. So total, there are 4 characters that are present here. Now, every character, so there is one number that is given here. Okay. So for every character, okay, so one number is given. Number is given. So now let's understand what that number and who given that number. So, right. So ASCII. So there is one board that's called ASCII, friends. Now let's understand what is first full form of the ASCII. So the full form of ASCII is, so it's a American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Okay. So A means American, S means standard. So C for code, I for information, and another I for interchange. So whenever in the digital communication that is happening, so here we are going to write some text. So for example, let's say, so Lokesh is sending a message to his girlfriend Anjali. So saying that, okay, so baby, I am not well. Okay, so Lokesh is writing, so baby, I am not well. I am not well. Okay, so like this, a message Lokesh was texted to this Anjali. Right. Okay. So then when this message is sending from Lokesh to Anjali, right? So it cannot go as it is, because the communication should done through zeros and ones only, nothing else. So any communication or any message that is being stored inside the computer, everything happened through zeros and ones only, nothing else. So when this is happening, right? So for baby, first it's need to convert it to zeros and ones. Similarly, I also need to convert it to zeros and ones. Yam also needs to convert it to zeros and ones. Not also need to convert it zeros and ones. Similarly, well also. Right. So how this conversion happen? So before converting that, first for A, what is the number? For N, what is the number? That we need to understand. Once if you know that number, then you can easily convert that into a binary number. Right. So we have already seen how to convert a decimal number into binary, that is zeros and ones. This we are already know. So what we should know here is, for any character, what is the ASCII value that is there? So that we have to understand, friends. So few theory, let's understand here. So in the early 90s, in the early 1960s, which means that time 1960s, so the lack of standard for communicating with computers led to development of ASCII. Okay, so to standardize the character representation, so which remains most commonly used coding scheme. Okay, now you see here, so ASCII originally used 7 bits to represent the characters. So if they are using 7 bits to represent the characters, so then can you tell me how many possibilities that we are going to get? So number of possible, number of pattern, how many with 7 bits? How many patterns are we going to get, friends, with the 7 bits? So we have seen with n bits 2 power 7. So with n bits 2 power n. So with 7, so total 2 power 7 patterns are going to possible. So that are 128. 128 patterns are going to possible. Okay. So therefore, total, okay, 128 possible characters we had. So for every character, one number they have given. So in the next slide, let me show what is the number for each character that they have given. So covering the English keyboard needs. So if you see in the keyboard at max, it could be more than 128 symbols. That is for sure. So now let's see one table. Okay. So let's see one table. I'll come to the previous slide in some time. Okay, first of all, don't get afraid by seeing this big table. You no need to remember this table, not at all required. So no need to remember the complete table. No need to remember the complete table. That is the first thing. That is the first thing. Okay, but there are few things that you need to remember, and I will tell the trick also to remember. So I will tell you the trick also to remember what are all the things. So here you can see decimal, which means what is the decimal value and what is the character that belongs to the decimal value. Okay, so we need to remember these things, friends. So capital A, so capital A, capital B, capital C, and so on. X, Y, Z. These are called as capital letters. Now, these ASCII values you should supposed to remember. Now, see the table and tell me the ASCII value of capital A. So what is the capital A ASCII value? So see the table and tell me. Yes, it is 65. Very good. So ASCII value for the capital A is 65. So if it is 65, then obviously it is 66. Then it is 67. So like that. How long it will go till Z? What is the ASCII value for the Z? That is 90. 90. Now total, how many alphabets that we have, friends? Total 26 alphabets we have, right? Now A you have given 65. So B you have given 66. So like that, 65 plus 26 and you do -1. Why you have to do -1? Because we have to remove, na? Because A is taking 65, B is taking 66, like that. So when you remove -1, what we are going to get? 66, 26. First of all, this is 91. So -1, that is 90. So therefore, ASCII value for the Z is 90. Okay. So these are the ASCII value for capital A to capital Z. Similarly, there are some ASCII values which is having small a to small z also. So let's remember what those ASCII values are. So let us see what those ASCII values are. So for small a, small a, small b, small c, and so on, x, y, z. So for small a ASCII value, whatever the capital A ASCII value is there, so for that, you just add plus 32. So for that, you just add plus 32. So whatever is there, for that, you just add plus 32. So when you add plus 32, what you are going to get it? So 65 plus 32, that is 97. 97. Now same thing will continue here. So this is 97 and 98 and 99 and so on. Okay. So what is the ASCII value for the Z? So for this 90, if you add 32, it is 122. 122. Okay. Right. So now A ASCII they have given 97. See, this is the thing. This is a standard table, friends. They have given this. This is a standard table they have given. So we need to follow. We need to follow. Okay. Now people are asking, sir, why to add plus 32? Like, okay, to answer this. Okay. So when you are going on the roadside, they will always say that go on the left side only. Whenever you are going, they will always say go towards left side only. Right? If you go right side, what's going to happen? I hope I no need to answer. Correct? They set some rules, na? So always go towards left side. Don't go right side. If you go right side, what's going to happen? Same thing, na? Similarly, here also they have defined the rules. So these are the standard rules everyone in the world are going to follow. So everyone in the world, they are going to follow. Right? Okay. So therefore, for capital small a, ASCII value is 97, friends. Okay. So for small b, ASCII value is 98. So for small z, ASCII value is 122. So whenever if you see some certain rules or some standards, you just need to follow. That's it. That's it. Okay. So since for small a, they have given 97. So now let me tell you a trick how to remember. Let me tell you a trick how to remember. Okay. So if you know capital A, that is enough. So if you know capital A ASCII value, that is more than enough. So which is 65. 65. Now in future, if anybody asks what is the ASCII value for the A, so can you easily check it now? So for A is 65, 66, 67, 68, A, B, C, D. Okay. So for E, how much? 66, 67, 68. So that is 69. Right. So just to remember ASCII value for the A. Now, if they ask what is the ASCII value for small b, how are you going to get it? First, what is the ASCII value for A? Try to find out. How will you find out ASCII value for A? For whatever this, you add plus 32, you are going to get small a ASCII value. Okay. What is that? That is 97. So therefore, small b ASCII value is 98. 98. Okay. So just remember capital A ASCII value, that is more than enough. Understood, everyone? So just remember capital A ASCII value. Remaining all you can easily derive. You cannot by heart this complete all the table, na? All the table, right? Okay. Here, why they have added plus 32 means why you are not understanding? See, for cap small a, they have given 97 is the ASCII value. Okay. This is the value they have given. They have given. So for capital A, to get ASCII value of A, you need to add plus 32. From 65 to get 97, add plus 32. Now, if you're asking again why plus 32 means, I cannot answer. I cannot answer, okay? So I hope it is clear to everyone. They have defined for small a ASCII value as 97. Now for remembering purpose, you add plus 32, you are going to get it like that. Okay? Now we just, maybe you can note down if you require. If you require, maybe on your copy, please note down all these things. I'll wait for some time. Okay, once you note it down, then let me know in the chat. I'll go with, okay. Okay, note it down. Huh? Okay, good. So these you need to remember, friends. Now let's come here. Now let's come here. Now let us see one example here. So when the A is pressed in the keyboard, so in your keyboard you pressed A, okay, and how this A will internally stored inside that memory. So it internally mapped to a decimal value 65. Now what is the decimal value 65? This is a ASCII value. So coded value is nothing but it is a ASCII value. It is a ASCII value. Okay. First, when you type this A, see, computer cannot understand what is A, what is B. It understands zeros and ones only. So internally, there is a mechanism will be there. So whenever you type a character, first it will find out what is the ASCII value for that. And that ASCII value will get converted into the binary. Okay. Now tell me what is the binary value for the 65. So convert this decimal 65 into binary and write it what is ASCII, what is its binary value. Come on, quickly write it. So don't do the calculation mistakes. So one way is you can follow this. You can take 65. So it goes 32 times and the remainder is 1. Next, divided by 2, it goes 16 times and the remainder is 0. So next, it goes 8 times. So remainder is 0. So next, it goes 4 times. Remainder is 0. Next, it goes 2 times and the remainder is 0. So next, it goes 1 time and the remainder is 0. So whenever if it's 1, so we can stop. We can stop. Next, write all these values in the reverse order. So that is 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 zeros are there. So 5 zeros followed by 1. That is in base 2. This is one way of doing. But you don't need to do this much hangama. You can directly, I told one shortcut, right? So from the left side, write all the 2 powers. So from the left, like this, you go. So 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Now, should I go for 128? Not required because it is 65 only, na? Not required. 64, you can stop. 65, I can write it as 64 plus 1. 64 plus 1. So therefore, wherever 64, put 1. Wherever 1, you put 1. Remaining all the places, you put 0. So this is same as the left side one that we have did it. Okay, so understood this, everyone? Of course, it is up to you which one to follow. You can follow this division method or you can follow this shortcut method also. But ultimately, getting the correct answer is important. Right? So getting the correct answer is important. Okay, so now we got this, right? Right. So whenever you type A, so what happens is, let me tell you it. So when you type A, so first it will find out what is the ASCII value for A. Okay, so that is 65. So first it will identify the ASCII value for the 65. Then it will get converted into binary. So what is the binary? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. So binary. And this will be stored inside that memory. So this will be stored inside the memory. And this will happen. And this happens for all the characters. Okay. So clear, everyone? Clear, everyone? So whenever you type any character, friends, so same thing will happen. Okay. So let us take one example. And it will be clear. Now, let us say string s is equal to, okay. So let me write like this. Now I want to store A, B, C, D, okay. And I'll give you little space and I'll write E, F, G. Okay, so I want to store this complete string. Okay, so first you need to type A, B, C, D is one space. And followed by E, F, G. Now let's understand how it will be stored inside that memory. So how it will be stored. Okay, right. So first what will happen, friends? First it will identify what is the ASCII value. So ASCII value is 65, then 66, then 67, then 68. So first for the 4 characters, 4 it will get converted. But you have given space also, na? So one space will be there. Followed by next, what is ASCII for E? So 69 and 70 and 71. But what about space? How computer understand that yes, there is a space? How computer understand that yes, there is a space? So how computer understand that there is a space. Interesting thing. For space also, ASCII value is there. Okay, interestingly. Okay, let us see what is that ASCII value. Now, can you check this table and find out what is the ASCII value for the, where is the table? Can you check this table and figure out where that ASCII value for space is present? Check the table carefully. Are 128 to hey number. How will you get 128? You check out this table and you can find out space also an ASCII value is there. Yes, very good. So here 32 is a ASCII value for the space. Now you understood why we are adding plus 32. Right? Okay. So therefore, here what will be there, friends? Number 32 also going to present here. Number 32 also going to present. And then what happened? Now you convert 65, 66, all these things into binary, and final, a very big binary value will be present inside that memory. So finally, all a very big binary value, you are going to get it. Okay. So this binary value, so I'm not showing value stored inside that memory. Stored inside this memory. Okay. So can you tell this binary value is going to contain how many bits if it follows the ASCII? So can you guess number of bits? How many will be there? How many bits total will be present here? So here total, if I store this complete string, so total how many bits will be there? Can you guess? Pura, this complete string when I store inside that memory. Okay. So these numbers, if I convert it into binary, then how many bits are going to present here? Total. You check it properly. You check it properly. You are not using your brain. Are how 49, how 30? If I store this string completely, how many bits are going to be present? Why 32? Why 16? Use your brain. Use your brain. You tell me each character will take how many bits? Each character takes how many bits as per the ASCII? As per the ASCII, each character, how many bits it will take? How 1 bit? 7 bits, na? We have seen, right? 7 bits it's going to take. So total, how many characters are there? Total, how many characters are there? In the above string, in the above. 7 or 8? Tell me, 7 or 8? 8 characters are there. 8 characters are there. Because space is also a character. Space is also a character. So total, how many bits are there? Very good. Total, there are 8 characters, each character 7 bits. So hence it is 56 bits. Okay. So understood now everyone now? As per the ASCII. So as per the ASCII, so total 56 bits are going to stored inside that memory, friends. And this is the explanation for that. 56 bits. Okay. Right. But space have 5 bits only. Why? Who told you, Samir? Who told you? Who told you space have 5 bits? See, if 32, what is the binary value for the 32? 1 followed by 0, 0, 0, 0. Base 2. Base 2. Right? Okay. Now, how are you going to represent in 7 bits? If you want to represent same number as in 7 bits, so already you have 5 bits. Remaining, we will put 0, 0 on the left side. So that total, it is going to be 7 bits. Because every character that you take, it should be represented in 7 bits. So every character should be represented in 7 bits. So if any leftover space is there, that will be filled with zeros. Okay, good. So this is all the story about the ASCII and all the concepts, friends. So one small exercise I will give you now, that live exercise. So let's do some live exercise. Okay. So everyone, I hope open the Google, right? So everyone, please open the Google in your right tab, open a new tab and open the Google, open the right. So we have both Python people and JavaScript people. Both are present here, right? So we have JavaScript people and Python. Both are present here. Okay, so left side, let me write the Python. Right side, let me write the JavaScript. Okay. Now the question is, so given a character, how to find out its ASCII value. So, okay, whichever programming language that you are using, so please type this in the Google. So given a character, how to find out its ASCII value in Python, you all type Python people. So JavaScript people, so given a ASCII value, given a character, how to find out its ASCII value in JavaScript. So you Google it out and tell me first for Python, and JavaScript people do a research and tell me for, for JavaScript. Right. So take time and tell me. You tell me which language also you are writing. So you tell me which programming language that you are writing. Otherwise, how will I understand? So first write JavaScript, then tell me that method or function, whatever is there. So in Python, ORD. Yeah? Okay. So first let me write in the Python. So they are going to use ORD. So for Python people, they are going to use ORD. ORD. Okay. And inside they can pass some character. Okay. So as an example, if I write print ORD of capital A. Okay. So character you have to put like this. Now run this code and tell me what output you are getting, Python people. What it should supposed to give. Python people, when you run this code, what output it should give? 65, right? So are you getting 65? So let me open this online GDB. I'll select language as Python. So let me run. So print ORD of capital A. Now let me run this code. Yeah, so we are getting 65. Yes, that is correct. So you have to use function called ORT. Okay. Now similarly for JavaScript, can you tell me? So I will take this and I will add it to the notes. So this is for Python people. Okay. We have to use ORT. So for the JavaScript, tell me char code at. Okay. So let me write it. So let me select JavaScript. JavaScript is there here. Yes, Java. Rhino is same as JavaScript. I also don't know. Let me write. So here in place of print, what you have in JavaScript, console.log, right? Console.log for printing. So what is that method? Char code at. And I will pass capital A. Okay. So let me run. It is taking console is not defined. So what to write? Because it is not coming console. Okay, somebody given that node. Acha, node has to be present. It will not work here if I do like this. Let me check. Okay, somebody given this code. So let me run this. Uncaught JavaScript runtime action and console is not defined. Sorry, what to do to remove this error? Node has to be installed, right? I think it won't work in online. The JavaScript compiler I will open, maybe. Let me open JavaScript compiler. Now I'll copy the same and I'll paste it. See, this is not for the Python people. So don't worry, Python people. Okay, now let me run. Yes, we are getting 65. Yeah, so we are getting 65. So here, what is the method name that we should know, friends? So what is the method name that we should know? Char code at. So char, why 0 here? Should not be 0. It should be char. Okay, 65, right? So the method name is char code at. Okay, so here the method name is char code at. Right? And here you can pass that character, whatever the character. So here an example. So if you write char, because it is very important, you should know. So char code at, comma, if you pass this capital A, you can get its output as 65. Okay, right. This is done. Now, next, let us see opposite of that. Let us see opposite of that. So what is the opposite of that? That is, now again, do the same exercise. So here, given a ASCII value, how to find it character? How to find the character? So come on, do the same exercise in Python and JavaScript and tell me what is the answer you are getting. This time I'm doing reverse of that. This time I'm doing reverse of that. Okay. So previously we are giving the character capital A and we are getting answer as 65. Now, if I give you 65, so how you should supposed to get that character A? So what you are going to do in Python? Python, you will use CHR. So tell me which language you are referring. So in Python, CHR. Okay, very good. So let me write CHR. Okay. And inside, you need to give that number. You need to give that ASCII value. You give that ASCII value, whatever the value that you want to give, maybe 60. For example, if I give CHR of 65, then you should supposed to get output as A. Correct. So let us check. Let me check the Python. So I'll go to Python here. So let me write print CHR of capital A. Okay, let me change the language here. So language is Python. Now if I run this, it is getting like this. Sorry, value we have to give a number. We have to give the number. We have to give the number 65. Right? So if I run, yeah, we are getting A. Nice. What about JavaScript? What about JavaScript? Console.log. So tell me what we have to write in JavaScript. Not char coded. Char coded is different. What you need to write? Have you done the research? String dot reverse. Come on, what to do? The index? No. Or you do simple Google, na? String dot from char code. Okay. Let me take this. So you have to write string dot from and ASCII value. I'll give you 65. So let me do console.log. I'll take it ch and let me print it. Let me print the ch. Now when I run, yes, it is giving A. So what is the method name that you have to write, friends? Capital string dot from char code. This is the method name that you need to use here. So let me paste it here. So let me paste here. So you have to write this, and inside that you can give you whatever that value that you require. Okay. So you need to remember. So Python people, so given a character, how to find the ASCII. So you have to use a method called ORD and pass that character name, whatever character. Whereas JavaScript people, you need to use char coded. If you want to do the reverse of that, so Python people, you should use CHR. Whereas JavaScript people, you need to raise string dot from char code. And here you can give whatever the value that is you want. Okay. So clearer for both of them. Is it clear? Okay, good. Now people are saying that's why Python is easy. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. In future, you will get to know. See, every language has its own advantages and disadvantages. Okay, right. No, now you may feel that Python is good because it is having very small. But later you will regret that I should not learn the Python. So later you are going to feel that you'll feel regret also. Let me tell you. But anyhow, Python is for JavaScript people, data analytics people. Nah? So for them, not that much DSA is required, right? Okay, cool. So this is all the story about. So this is all the story about ASCII and all these things, friends. Okay. So far, is it clear, everyone? So far, whatever we have seen, it is clear, right? Okay. So just a minute, I'll put the charging. I'll put the charging. Okay. So now let's continue about those topics like errors, edge cases, all those things we will talk about. Okay. So let me share the screen and I will explain this topic directly from the notes, friends. So when you open that LMS, you all can see these notes. Let me confirm. Please confirm. So when you open that LMS today's class, so you can see these notes. So quickly confirm everyone able to see these notes. Okay, good. So I will directly explain from this because this is a completely theoretical topic only. So nothing much to write also. Right. So first, so wherever it is required, I will, what happened? Okay. So wherever it is required, I will highlight this. Let me increase the font size. Yes. So is it okay? The font size is, let me maximize this. Let me maximize. If I maximize, I cannot highlight. Let me check. Will I able to highlight or not? I'm doing highlighting. Can you see on the screen? I'm doing highlighting. Can you see that highlighting? Okay. Good. Huh. So now, so please see this, friends, everyone. So you can do self-study also, but yeah, I'll explain anyhow. Right. So topics that we will talk about, what is errors, what are the test cases, what are the edge cases, what is meant by boilerplate code, and what is the TLE. These 5 topics we will see quickly. Right. So first, let us talk about that errors. Okay. Now understanding different type of, so you also read along with me so that you also can complete your reading. Okay. Na? So please read along with me so that you can quickly finish this. So understanding different type of errors in programming is crucial because you should know what type of error that you are getting. So especially for beginners venturing into the world of DSA or participating OJ context. So OJ context, like it means now you have you all got a OJ access, right? You all solving problems on OJ only, na? Okay. Yeah. So when you're writing code on the OJ, na, so you're going to get a lot of errors. So you should able to, what happened? So you should able to see what type of errors that you are getting and all. So in this errors, so one such error is, where is the pencil? Pencil kahan pe? It's a bit different. Okay. So one such syntax error, friends. So first error that we need to understand is syntax error. Okay, what is the syntax error? So this error you can get if you are not followed the rules. So syntax error you are going to get if you are not following the rules. If you not follow rules, you are going to get this syntax error. Like for example, so here you see they have given code in Python also, they have given the code in JavaScript also. So first error, it can be missing parenthesis. Like for example, in Python, when you have written for I in range, So you opened a bracket and you forget to close the bracket. So if you are forget to close the bracket, then you will get a missing parenthesis error like that. Similarly, in JavaScript also here, you opened a bracket, but you did not close it here. You did not close it here. Similarly, you opened a curly bracket, but you did not close it here. So this is one reason you will get one such error. Now, to get a more about it, you need to do your own practice. So to get the more, so you need to do the more practice of on your own. Okay. So this is about one error, friends. This is one such error. Now, what is their correct implementation? So they have given the correct implementation. So open the bracket, you have to close like that. So they have the correct implementation. So next, another error that is possible is misplaced symbols. Okay. So next is misplaced symbol, friends. What is meant by misplaced symbol? Like, for example, in Python, see, if x is equal to 5, here if you see, okay, so the correct one should be x. You are checking. See, you studied about if, right? So if it use it to what? You need to check the condition. Here you need to mention some condition. If that condition is true, then it will execute. If the condition is false, then it will not execute that if block. So here they are writing equal to symbol, but you need to write double equal to. Okay, so here it is equal to, but in JavaScript, you need to write a triple equal to. So this, you should be little careful about that. So this is one such error, like misplaced the symbols. Next, similar, now how to fix? So carefully read the error message provided by the compiler or the interpreter. Okay, so when you run the code, so if really some error is present, then it will display that error. Now to resolve that error, okay, so you need to read it carefully. So you have to read that error. Still, after reading, if you are unable to resolve, then what you have to do, just copy that error. So copy that error and Google it. Okay, type that error in the Google. Okay, or ChatGPT. So you all using, you all had a login to ChatGPT, right? So first you try to do on your own. Most probably if you do on your own, you can resolve it, friends. But still, if you are unable to resolve, okay, so copy that error and you type it in the Google, or you can type it in the ChatGPT, so that easily you can clear that error. Okay, so next there are some errors called as runtime errors. Okay, so what is runtime errors? So please see this. In the runtime errors now, so there is no syntax issue, friends. So there is no syntax issue in the runtime errors. So no syntax issue. No syntax issue. So you are following the syntax properly only, but still you are going to get some kind of errors. In that, one very popular error is divided by 0. So in mathematics also, we know any number, when you divide it by 0, it leads to infinity, right? You all know this. So when you divide any number with 0, it leads to infinity. Na? So in the memory, you cannot store the value of infinity. So hence, it will throw some error. If you want, you can try also. So after the class, you can try on your own. So try to type result is equal to 10 divided by 0. Now, when you try to print this result, you can get it. It's a kind of an error. Similarly, there is another error also. That is index out of range error. It is also very important error, friends. Like for example, here you see how many elements that are present here. Here total, this is index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, and index 4. So total there are 5 elements are there. Starting index is 0 and ending index is 4. But when you try to print array of 10, you tell me, does the 10th index is available? So does the 10th index is available in that? No, right? So hence it will print index out of bound error, index out of bound error. Because that index you can't able to access. Same thing with the JavaScript also. So same thing with the JavaScript also, right? Because the indices are 0 to 4 only. So you cannot access the index, which is not within that range, right? So whenever you get these kind of error, so you should look very carefully. Friends, because later in later units, like in unit 2 onwards, when you solve the DSA problems, so you are going to face these kind of errors. So you should be very careful. Okay, so you should be very careful about that index out of bound error. right? Okay. So next, let's check. Now, okay, how we should see all these errors? You just need to practice. Okay, what, for example, if you want to you want to see this, you write this code and run. So you write this code and run. Then you can see. So you run, so you can see those errors. Those errors. Okay, right. Next, there is another error called file not found, but this is not required for you. So there is one more error called as, okay, file not found, friends, but this is not required. This is not required for you. Okay, so what does it meaning? I'll tell you what its meaning is. Like when you are trying to open that file which is not present, in that case, it will throw file not found error. Okay, so you are trying to open a file which is not present. So in that case, it will throw, right? So file not found error, all these things, friends. So this is all we have done. So these is all about errors and stuff like that. Now next, let's see some kind of logical errors. So we have, so far what we have seen, friends. So far, so we have seen about syntax errors. We have seen syntax errors. So these errors you are going to get if you do any mistake in the language syntax. Next, we have seen the runtime errors. So next we have seen the runtime errors. Now, why you are getting runtime errors? Here, no syntax issue, remember. So in the runtime, there is no syntax issue, but there are some logical issues are there. Like for example, divided by 0, or you are accessing out of the array, which is not present, these kind of things. Now, next third, let us see the logical errors. Okay, now let's see logical errors, friends. What these logical errors meaning is. Okay, yes. So let us continue. So far it is clear. First two. Are you able to follow with me? Are you able to follow with me, right? Okay, good. So now next, because see, these are slightly theory topics now. So I'm going little fast also. These you will understand more when you practice. Okay, so I'm just explaining, friends. When you practice more, you will get it more. Because going forward, you can face these errors. So going forward, you can face these errors. So hence I'm saying now, right? Okay, good. Next, let us understand logical errors. Now, what these logical errors means is, so logical errors, the trickiest to solve. So the program runs without crashing, which means it won't generate any error. Okay, so it won't show any runtime error or syntax error, but still you can see some kind of errors. So what does it mean? So the program runs without crashing, but it does not do what you intended to do. So that result into incorrect because of the mistakes that has written in the program logic. Okay, I have asked you to write some code. So I have asked you to write some code for the program. So you have written that code also, but that code will not produce the correct output. That code will run without giving any error. That code will run, but it will not produce the correct output. Now, what might be the reason? Because you did some mistake in the code. You did some mistake in that code. What kind of mistake you did it? Have you did any syntax issue? No, there is no syntax issue. There is no runtime error also. No runtime error also. But logic part, you did it. In the logic part, you made some mistake. Like, let us see one simple example to understand it better. Okay, like now I want to find out sum of all the array elements in that array. So I have given a question to write a code to find sum of all elements of array. Sum of all elements of array. So this is the question I have asked, friends. Array or a list, whatever it is. Okay, you have defined one array here or a list. See, this is in Python. So this is Python. And next, this is in JavaScript. So they have run a for loop. Have you studied the for loops? Everyone? Everyone studied the for loops in the coding? No, not yet. Huh? They might have covered, right? For loops. Achha, while loop. Okay, whatever. Loop is covered, right? At least while loop is covered. Okay, no problem. But just focus here. So sum is equal. See, my question is about sum of all the elements of that array or the list, friends. Okay, na? Now when you check it, so you need to give 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, correct? This is what I am asking. This is what my required output is. So to access particular element, you need to write array of 0 or you need to write array of 1. But if you see what people had done here, sum is equal to sum plus I they have written. Sum is equal to sum plus I they have written. But what we have to write, friends, it is not I. We have to write array of I to access an element of that array. So in the later classes, you will get to know what is how to access array elements and all these things. Okay, so they have written I, friends. I don't want to add the index. I want to add the value. Okay, so here some logical issue is there. Syntactically, it is perfectly fine. Syntactically, there is no issue. There is no issue syntactically. But logic part, there is some issue. So these kind of things you will get more in future. You might be thinking that, I'll tell you. So here, you might be thinking that I have written a code. I have written all the code correctly, but all test cases are not passed. So can you able to see test cases on the OJ? All test cases are not passed. Let us talk about what is these test cases are. In some time, I will explain what test cases also. You have written the code. When you compiled it, output successfully you got. So output successfully you got it. But when you submit that code, some of the test cases might fail. If not now, in future, you are going to get that. Why this is not working? Because there is some mistake in the code. There is some mistake in the code, not syntactical mistake, not runtime mistake. The mistake is in logic part only, something wrong is there. So for that, what you have to do, if all test cases has to be passed, ab kya karna hai? So you have to go to the code, check the code again. So you need to check the code again. Check the code again. That is the only way to solve this all test cases passed issue. Okay, na? Right. So let's continue, friends. Now, this is all about the errors and the logical error, runtime error, syntactical errors. All these things we have seen. Okay. Some students are saying I faced the same issue in the yesterday's assignment. Yes, you are going to face that issues. Okay. Now, next, let us talk about something called as edge cases, friends. Okay. So one disclaimer that I want to mention here. Okay. From now onwards, from here onwards. Okay. So from edge cases onwards, so from here onwards, okay. So there are some topics that I'm going to, that you can see, which you not know. Okay. But just listen and leave. Just listen and leave. Okay. After covering of these topics, again, you can come back. Okay, so for now, what you have to do is just to listen those topics and leave. Okay, so don't ask any doubts in this because these topics are actually not covered for you. So going forward, all things will be covered. Then again, you come back, then you can understand these things. Okay, but for now, I'll just explain what is the edge case. So I'm not going into deep. So I will not go into deep because if I go deep also, you cannot understand this because these topics are not covered yet. Right? Okay. So now let's see the theoretical understanding only. So what is this edge case? Now, understanding and handling edge cases is a fundamental to create a robust and error-free programs. So especially in the context of DSA or OJ context. Okay. So now edge cases means like when you write a code, where so you're writing a code, but in that code, all test cases will not pass, friends. So few test cases might fail, which means your code is not covering those test cases. So to resolve that, what you have to do, come back and you think again and you need to modify the code. That is the one way where you can resolve these edge cases. Okay. So these examples, I will not explain right now. Later, after maybe some days, you can come back and you can understand this again. Okay. So all these things. Now, most important thing, you should understand test cases. Okay. So the most important thing, you have to understand the test cases. Now, what are the test cases are? What are the test cases? Like when you open the OJ, so let me open here and I will explain. So randomly, I will open one problem. Don't worry what this problem is saying here. So just to focus here, sample input 12, 2. So they are expecting output as 13, 2. Okay. When you write the code, when you click it on the submit, When you write the code, when you click it on the submit, so they are going to check whether your code is working for all the test cases or not, whatever the code that you have writing here. So first, before submitting, so submit, before submit, so you can run, right? And it will display the output. This displaying output based on this code and based on these test cases, right? So you are going to run that code. If you feel that output is correct, then you can submit. You can submit. After submitting, okay, there are some test cases which are hidden, which you cannot see, which are called hidden test cases, friends. So hidden test cases means you cannot see it actually, right? So those hidden test cases will be checked on your code. So will be checked on your code. So it's very simple here. So you design one product, okay, or you are having a car manufacturing company. So you designed a car. You designed a car. Now, do you think will they release directly car in the market? No, before that car releasing, there should be some safety will be there, right? So safety measures they will check and they will give you some rating. Do you know all what that rating is called as? We'll see na 3-star, 4-star. What the 3-star, 4-star is called as what? NCAP rating, right? Okay, we call those as NCAP rating. NCAP rating, right? So in that NCAP, what they'll do, they will consider different things. Like first, they will run at the 60 km/h speed and they will hit a wall and they are going to check. Next, maybe they will put some weight also. They'll put some weight and hit a wall. Then they'll check. So based on that stability, how the vehicle stability or how the vehicle build quality. So based on that, they will give you NCAP rating. So NCAP rating they will give you. Like it will be 4-star, it will be 5-star, like that. So this is how they are going to test your product. Same here also, they are going to test your code with some hidden test cases. Now these test cases are very strong, right? Like the way how they were checking your car and all. Okay, so this is about test cases, right? So nothing much to discuss here. You can just read it also self. This is okay. And again, duplicated. This is okay. It's repeated twice. Let me edit this. It's repeated twice. Let me just edit that notes. 1 minute. I'll edit and I'll update here. Okay, it's not working. Okay, I will update it after the class. After the class, I will update it. Okay, so orally, these are all bit theory points only, friends. Just read it on your own and you will get it. Okay, but going forward, so when I'm showing the coding related stuff, I will explain a bit more in that, bit more. Okay, and again, I'm repeating. So you can find some codes there. So which involves functions and all the concepts. So right now, since those topics are not covered, so hence I'm purposefully not covering the class, right? Because those topics, it's been not covered from the coding end, right? So if I cover now, you won't understand. So that's all, friends, for today's class. So we covered ASCII, all the topics around this ASCII. And later we have one dedicated session is also there. So that session is dedicatedly for problem solving on ASCII only. So that time we can dive little more also inside that topic ASCII. Cool. So yeah, that's all. We ended today little early, right? So any questions if you have, you can please, ask. You can raise your hand and you can ask. I'll stop the recording because video will become lengthy. So